Hello everybody, this is Cristina from craftmuse, and today's tutorial is going to be for a mini Dumbo TSUM TSUM. So this is what we will be making today. I've got two here. For those of you who don't know, this is my second time filming this tutorial. I went through the entire tutorial filming him, and then when my husband went to check the to edit the video, there was no audio for the entire video, so I have to redo it again, and you bet your bottom dollar that I will be checking every single clip that I film to make sure that the audio is on this time. I have no idea what happened, but let's do this over again. So, mini Tsum Tsums, this is the first one that I have created, so I think he's really cute. So this was the practice one that I made, and this is the one I filmed in the tutorial that did not work. So if you want a size comparison, here's a regular one here, and then here's a little one here. So it's really hard to tell on camera that it is smaller, but when you actually make it and hold it and all that, then you can see the difference and tell the difference. But right now it's kind of hard to see. The ears kind of make it look like it appears larger than it is, but he is pretty small, so he's really cute. So the good thing about these is that they will take less bands and less time. So what you will need to make him, I will have a band count in the description box below, but you can use any blue that you'd like for Dumbo, or gray, or purple or pink, whatever you guys want to use. For this one here, I use the solar bands, the blue ones. I forget what they're called, but pretty much looks the same as the electric blue glow bands. And then this for this one, I use the turquoise bands from Rainbow Loom. And then for their hats, I use the pastel yellow from the pastel mix. Ears, the inside of their ears, I used the baby pink from the mixed skin tone packs, and then just a red for his little collar. So I know his collar should have like yellow in it, but since he's such a small design, I didn't want to add another row for the collar because I just like the way it looks like this. But if you guys want to add some yellow to this, feel free to do that. So yeah, these eyes are the 9mm pony beads. So you can either use those, or you can even use the smaller ones, but I like how the larger ones look on this little guy because he's so small, so like larger eyes kind of look cuter on him. So I'll be using the 9mm pony beads here again. But if you don't have pony beads, remember that you can always use wrap bands, or you can even use safety eyes or buttons. So you'll need a little bit of polyfil for him, you want to stuff them up nice and good. And then you'll need your rainbow loom hook or a crochet hook, and also a C-clip or stitch marker. And this paint spot here, I apologize for that. I'm sure it's going to be distracting because it's distracting to me, but it's there, and I just need to get a new board. So until then, I apologize for that. So today what I'm going to be using, since I want to make mine all different, so this one is a blue-gray color that I'm using. This is actually not Rainbow Loom brand. This is the Loom bands. These are bands that I got from, what's that place called? Kieran Stores? Yeah, Kieran Stores. It's like a blue-gray color. So this is what I'm using today for my Dumbo, and then the rest of my colors will be the same. Okay, so let's get started on him once again. And I'm going to cross my fingers that this works this time. The first thing that we will be making is the hat. So you will need your yellow, if you're using yellow for the hat. And to do the hat, we are going to start off by making a magic ring with 6 stitches in it. So go ahead and grab your yellow and wrap it around your hook twice so that you create 3 loops on your hook. Next, you're going to take another band and pull this capping band on. Slide it down and reclaim onto your hook. Then normally I'll just grab the capping band And then you want to slide this first band here through this one here, like you're doing a slip knot. But don't pull it tight, just keep it nice and loose. Next, you're going to stick your hook back through that capping band. You want to make sure that you're going through the entire capping band. Grab another one, another yellow band, and bring it through the cap band only. Leave this band over here alone. I usually just kind of hold on to it with my finger. So just slide that through the capping band and then pull up onto your hook. And then you're going to take this very first loop here under these two here. So just slide those under. So now we have 2 stitches on there. We want to make 6, so we need to do this 4 more times. Whoops. So go back through your capping band, grab another band and pull it through the cap band, up onto your hook, and then slide under. So that was 3. Do that again. So band through the cap band, up onto your hook, and slide under. So that's 4. This is 5. And this will be 6. Alright, so you should have 6 stitches in your magic ring. You have these little V shapes on the side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the band that's on my hook also counts as a stitch, so that will be number 6. So that's basically all we need to do for the base of the hat. So we're just going to stick our hook through that first stitch, grab another yellow band and bring it through all the loops on your hook, reclaim, and then bring that under and tie it into a slip knot. Just like that. Next, we want to make the little tip of the hat. So we are going to take one band, wrap it around your hook once, and then you're going to grab all of those and wrap it around again. So we're making a little capping band. Then you're going to take another band and double loop that, put it on your hook, and slide this cap band on. And then reclaim onto your hook. And then you want to take 2 yellow bands. Hold on, I need to get another yellow band. So 2 yellow bands, and you're going to double loop these. And then put it on your hook, and you're going to slide this onto it. Try to center it. If not, it's okay, because it kind of, if it bends a little bit towards one way, that's okay, because it's kind of supposed to be a little bit lopsided looking. So once you've got this on your hook, you'll just grab another band, and I'm going to kind of stretch this out a little bit. Don't, like, you know, break it, but just to give it a little, just to make it a little bit larger. And then I'm going to bring this up onto that band that we stretched out and slide it towards the center. So we need to attach this onto the magic ring. So I'm just going to lay this in the center, so in the center of my magic ring. Just going to lay this on top, and I want to bring these, each band through each side of the center of the magic ring. So I'll bring one band through here and another band through on this side. So I'm just going to stick my hook into one side of the magic ring. It might be kind of hard for you to see what I'm doing because this is so small. Okay, so I just stuck my hook through one side of the magic ring, and I'm going to bring this end through. And then you want to take the other side and bring it through. So stick your hook through the other side and then bring that down. And then make sure it's going to be sitting in the center. And if it is, then go ahead and grab those loose ends. So pick one up, grab the other one, and then you're going to just slide this into a slip knot. Tie it nice and tight. And then if your magic ring kind of folds up after you tied this tight, then just kind of loosen that up a little bit. Okay, so you have this little itty bitty hat here. And don't worry about this tying off band in the center. We're gonna hide that when we lay that on top of his head. And then this tying off band is going to be one of the bands that we're gonna use to tie it onto his head. So you can set that aside for now. And we will be using that when we work on the facial features for Dumbo. Next, we can go ahead and make his ears. So you're going to need your pink for the inner ear, and then a little bit of blue for the outside of the ear. Now, I realized that you can see the pink on both sides. So rather than the back of his ear just being all blue, it's pink and blue on both sides. And the reason why I didn't make two separate pieces for the ear is because he's just so small that I didn't want the ear to look too bulky with two separate pieces. It would be very, I don't know, it'd just be too heavy and too bulky looking on his design because he's just so small. So I'm just sticking with having one piece for the ear, and I think it looks fine. Even though you can see the pink on the back, I still think he looks pretty cute like that. So grab your pink, and the first thing that we want to do is make a magic ring with 6 stitches in it. So just like we did with the hat, you're going to take your pink band and wrap it around your hook twice so you have 3 loops. Then you're going to take another band, bring that capping band on, slide down, and then slide under. Go back through your capping band. Bring your band through the cap band only up onto your hook and slide under. So that was 2. Then you're gonna do another one. If I can do it. Okay, there's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Then one more. And 6. So you should have your 6 stitches in there. Go ahead and grab your C-clip or your stitch marker and place it in that band that is on your hook. The next thing we want to do is increase around in this next row around. So to do an increase, you're just basically going to be putting 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So right now we have 6 and we want to end up with 12. So by putting 2 single crochets in each of these stitches, we will have 12. So to do that, you're going to stick your hook through the first stitch, grab a band. You're going to pull the band through the stitch only, up onto your hook, and then slide under. So that was a single crochet. Now we will need to add another one, so I'm going to go back through that very first stitch. My camera keeps going out of focus. Grab another band, pull it through the stitch only, up onto your hook, and slide under. So that was an increase. That was one increase. Now I need to do that same thing all the way around. So I'm going into my second stitch. I'm going to do my first single crochet. So there's 1, go back in. And 2. Now onto my third stitch. There's 1. back in, and 2. Going on to my 4th stitch. Here's 1, go back in, and 2. Now I'm in my 5th stitch. Here's 1, and 2. And then I'm in my last stitch here. So there's 1, go back in, and 2. So now this is what you should have, and you should have 12 stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Go ahead and place your C-clip back in that band that's on your hook. Our next row around, we are going to be doing an increase, and then we're going to do 8 single crochets, and then end with an increase and another increase. So the first 2 stitches will be increases, and then we're going to single crochet around in 8 of the stitches, and then in the last 2 stitches we will be doing increases. So that we should end up with, I believe, 16 stitches. So let's go into our first stitch and do an increase. So here's my first single crochet. There's 1, go back in that first stitch and do another single crochet, and 2. Now I'm going to go into my second stitch and do an increase. So there's 1, go back in, and 2. Now I want to do a total of 8 single crochets around. So I'll go into my third stitch. So there's 1, go into your next stitch, there's 2, keep going in your stitches, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, 6, 7, and 8. So after doing that, you should see that you still have 2 stitches left. So you're going to be increasing in these 2 stitches. So go to this next one and put your increase in. Go back in that stitch and do another. And then I'm just going to take my C-clip out and do my increase in that stitch. So there's 1, go back in, and 2. So you should have something like this, and you should have 16 stitches around. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Go ahead and place your C-clip or your stitch marker in the band that's on your hook. Now we will be switching to blue. And our pattern is going to be, we're increasing in the first 2 stitches again, and then this time we're going to be doing 12 single crochets, and then our last 2 stitches will be increases. So increase, increase, and then 12 single crochets, and then increase, increase. And we will be doing this in the body color. So we need to do a color change here. So to do that, I'm going to go into my first stitch here, grab my blue band, and bring it through all the loops on my hook. So through the stitch and then through that loop on my hook, and then put the other side of the band up onto your hook. And then you're just going to slide this band underneath this one. And this is going to be considered one of our single crochets in the increase. Then we're going to go back into that first stitch again and do a single crochet. Okay, so that was our first increase. we'll go on stitch 2 and do our second increase. So there's 1, go back in, and 2. Now we want to go around with 12 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 here. And then you should have 2 stitches left. So I'm going to be increasing in these last 2 stitches. So there's 1, go back in, oops, and 2. And I'm going to take my C-clip out and do my increase in that last stitch. So there's 1, go back in, and 2. So you should have 20 stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now what you want to do is just go through that very first blue stitch there, grab another blue band and bring it through all the loops on your hook, reclaim, and then tie that into a slip knot. So there's one little ear. Well, it's a pretty big ear for Dumbo, but what you want to do is go ahead and pause the video and make another one. So you're just going to be doing this exact same thing and just make your second ear, and then I'll meet you back here when you're finished with that. Okay, so I have my 2 ears. Now I want to just make the little trunk that we will put aside for now. After we make it, go ahead and grab 2 blue bands or body color bands, place one on your hook, put the other one on the hook part, reclaim, and then tie that into a slip knot. Now you're going to grab 2 of your body color bands, wrap it around your hook once, then grab all of those bands and wrap it around again. Let's see, how did I do this? I can't remember. Okay. I should know by now because this is, the 3rd time I've made him. Now we're going to take 2 more bands and double loop those. Put that on your hook and slide these bands to the center. Push down and reclaim. And then we are going to take 4 of your body colored bands. Put those on your hook and slide this on. So there's 1 time. Then grab 4 more and do that again. Then you're going to take your slip knotted band that you made and slide these on there. And then you can just put that off to the side for now. When we tie this onto the face, it will close these bands together, so it won't be so wide looking. Just if you guys were wondering, that's going to look better once we tie it onto his face. Okay, so we've made all the little accessories. Now we can go ahead and start working on the body. So here's the pattern for that. Go ahead and grab your eyes and get those on bands. So if you're using wrap bands, you can just make a cat band and slide it onto the body color, or if you're using the pony beads, just put a body color band through the bead. We will be placing our eyes in the second row. Okay, so the first round of the body is going to be magic ring with 6 stitches in it. We will be using our body color for the entire thing except for when we come up to the collar part, and so that's just one round. So I'm not gonna keep saying body color, body color, body color. I'll let you know when we switch over to the red. So grab your first band, wrap it around your hook twice, and we are going to make our magic ring with 6 stitches in it. I'm really kind of concerned with these bands, using these bands for this. So just continue and make your 6 stitches. These bands are like very thin, and it's almost like they've been stretched out even though they haven't, but I don't know how that's gonna end up looking. I hope it doesn't have a bunch of gaps in it, but we shall see. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you should have your magic ring with your six stitches. Go ahead and put your C-clip or your stitch marker in. Next, we are going to do an increase all the way around. So like we did with the ears, we are going to be putting 2 single crochets in each stitch around, so we go from 6 to 12 stitches. This is also where we're going to be adding the eyes. So as you can see here, I put the eyes are going to be going in stitches 2 and 5. If you can see these little words here, in stitch 2 it will be the last stitch from the increase, and in stitch 5 it will be the first stitch from the increase. So in stitch 2 we will be doing a single crochet, and then the second single crochet will be the eye, and then in the 5th stitch it will be the eye, single crochet, and then a regular single crochet. If that makes any sense, but I will go slow, so just in case. Alright, so our first stitch, we need to do our increase. So there's 1, go back in, and there's 2. Now we're going to go into our second stitch. We're going to do 1 regular single crochet. We're going to go back into our second stitch and grab one of your eyes. Put one end on the hook. Bring it through the stitch, up onto your hook, and slide under. Then we'll go to our third stitch and do our increase. There's 1. Go back in. 2. On our 4th stitch. 1. Go back in. 2. Now in our 5th stitch, we're going to start off with our eye right away. So eye. And then go back into your 5th stitch and do a regular single crochet. And now we are just going to do an increase in our last stitch. So there's one, go back in, and two. So you have this weird looking thing now. Don't worry about that, it will look fine later on. But you should have 12 stitches in there. So I have 1, 2, 3, and then your fourth stitch, if you're using the same size eyes as I am, it's going to be pretty small. So just remember to crochet into that and count that in your round next for the next row around. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then your ninth one is pretty small. 10, 11, and 12. Place your C-clip in the band that's on your hook. Next row around, we are in row 3. We want to do a single crochet followed by an increase, and we will repeat this pattern all the way around so that we end up with 18 stitches. So it'll be single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, and continue that. So in our first stitch will be a single crochet. Second stitch is going to be an increase. Third stitch is going to be a single. And then our tiny fourth stitch will be an increase. So just shove that increase in that tiny stitch. Fifth is going to be a single. Six is going to be an increase. Seven will be a single. Our eighth stitch will be an increase. Oh, I hate that car alarm. Our ninth little stitch is going to be a single. Ten will be an increase. Eleven will be a single. And our last one will be an increase. So you should now have 18 stitches around. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Place your C-cup in there. So that's it. We're not increasing anymore. We're just keeping the 18 stitches for the count until we start decreasing later on. So we are going to be doing repetitive rounds. We will be doing rows 4 through 7. We'll just be doing single crochets around at the 18 stitches. So we need to do that for 4 rounds. So I'll do the first one with you and then go ahead and pause the video and do the additional 3 more rounds. And then after that we'll start adding the face, like the trunk and the hat and the ears onto him. So let's go ahead and do the first round of single crochets. So we're just gonna go all the way around. I haven't done a band count yet, so I'm not exactly sure how much less bands these use as the regular ones. But I'm kind of curious to see if it's like a lot less or if it's just, you know. not that much of a difference. Well, this one does not have hair or a dress, so that right there kind of helps with the bands, keeping the bands minimal. Okay, so here's my last row. And I am going to put a band over here off to the side to show that I've done one row. So kind of keep track if you think you might lose track of how many rows you've done. And then we'll push the eyeballs in later. Don't worry about those. But just continue on. So you need to do 3 more rounds and then we will continue on with the face. Okay, so I have finished my additional 3 rounds and this is what I have here. So I went ahead and pushed in my eyes, and you can do that too if you'd like. Now this eye here is the one on the right might kind of twist off to the right a little bit, so I just kind of pushed the eyeball in and then kind of try to twist it back towards the left to try to straighten it a little bit better. It might not end up staying like that, but at least for the time being, it will be okay. The problem with crocheting, adding your eyes into the second round is that some of them, they might be a little bit lopsided, I guess, but that's where we needed to add our eyes. So this is what you have. Now I'm just going to go into this very first stitch here, and I'm going to tie this off. So I'm going to grab another band and bring it through all the loops on my hook and tie this into a slip knot, and this will just like hold it together while we work on adding the trunk and all of that stuff. So when we're working on this, you want to make sure that you've got your tying off band on the top, so it's kind of going off towards the right. You don't want it to be on the bottom because then your face is going to be the wrong way. So just make sure this is on the top. And then we want to add our little trunk on first. So grab your trunk. And I'm going to be using these. So here's my magic ring right here. There's 2 stitches right underneath it that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be pulling each end of these bands through. So I'm going to pull one through here and one through this side here. And then I'm just going to tie that into a knot. So I'm going to go in through inside of my face and bring the hook up through one of those holes, and I'm going to bring down this band, and then I'm going to do the other side. So I'm just going to go up through that other hole that I showed you and bring this other end down through there. Okay, and then once you've got that on, you want to tie this. Where'd my other, oh, it fell out. Once you've done that, you want to tie it into a knot. So you've got your bands here. Just make sure you tie it nice and tight so that it squeezes those bands together on the trunk, and it keeps it like closed. Just like that. And you can adjust the trunk if it's kind of just going straight. You can kind of bend it a little bit so it goes down and then comes up a little bit. But you can adjust this with your hook also. So you would just stick your hook through those bands at the top and then just kind of adjust it that way. And right now he kind of looks like Squidward. And my eyes popped out again. Okay. I always have problems with this band here. Alright, next we can add on his hat. So grab your little hat that you have made. We need to add another tying off band to this. So we have our tying off band here, and then we're just going to put one on the other side. So go on the other side of that tying off band, or across that tying off band, and place another band, bring it through, and then tie that into a slip knot. And then to attach this, you're just simply going to place it on the head wherever you want it. You can either do it in the center or off to the side. And you're just going to pull the bands through the inside of the head and then tie it in a knot. I know my attachment process is pretty ghetto, but it works, so make sure that other tying off band that you have underneath is not showing. And if you're having problems with it staying under, you can just go in through the head and pull that through the head as well, so that it kind of stays a little bit better. Oh no! All my stitches are coming undone. Okay, I had to pause the video and fix that, but I think this is the second time that's happened to me. It happened in my last tutorial. My stitches came undone. So once you've got that pulled through, you're just going to tie into a knot. Okay, so his little hat is on. Now we can add his little ears. So grab your ears. And you have the one tying off band. And we're just going to add another one. So I'm just going to go in a stitch right next to that one. And add another tying off band to that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side as well. So I've got this one here, and then I'm going to go into this one here and add another one. And then, whoops, you're just going to tie these on to the face. So just pick where you want it to go. You can put them further back. You can put them up here if you want, but then it's really gonna look, I don't know, kind of weird. So I'm gonna keep mine down here, kind of closer to the eyes, because I like mine lower. So you'll just simply pull through where you want it to go, and then tie it in a knot. So it's pretty simple to attach these. The only semi-difficult part is lining the other ear up with the first one that you put in. So one ear in, and I'm gonna just tie that off. And then I'm going to do the other one. This one's kind of low. So this Dumbo has like little droopy ears. But that's okay. I think he still looks cute. Alright, so that's it for the face. So we're halfway done, and so far, so good. My camera has been picking up the audio, which is good. So now we can continue on. Once you guys have finished your ears and all that, of course. Now for this next row, we will still be continuing around with our single crochets. But we will be adding our little arms here. So we need to make our little arms. And then this row is also going to be in our red. So get your red out. And let's make our arms. So to make the arms, you guys can change this if you'd like. I really just did I just did capping bands for the arms. So I used 2 bands here for each capping band for the arms and the legs. And I think it looks appropriate for his size. You could make them larger, I guess, if you'd like. Or you could add even more bands to your capping band to make them more noticeable. But the Tsum Tsums their arms and legs are very small. So, especially for this size, I think that the capping bands work well. So I just took 2 of your body color, and I'm just going to wrap it around my hook once, grab all of those, and wrap around again. And then I'm going to place these on a red band. So just slide those on, put that down, and make another one. And slide that one onto a red band as well. If you guys want to get ready, you can make your little legs too. Yeah, might as well make those too. So 2 more. Grab a body color band this time and slide those on. And then we need to make 1 more of those. I'm gonna have like a whole army of mini Dumbos. Alright, so we've got our legs that we can set off, and then we'll use our arms in this row around. So here we are on row 8. So in red, single crochets around in 18 stitches. Our arms are going to go in stitches 4 and 8. Now this might be different for you, depending on whether you're using thicker bands or I don't know, but everybody should pretty much be about the same. But if your arms aren't looking okay in stitches 4 and 8, go ahead and adjust that to whatever stitches would look right for you. So take out your tying off band where we last left off. Stick your hook in there, place your C-clip on. Now we're going to switch over to red, so we need to do a color change here. So I'm going to go through my first stitch, grab my red, bring it through all the loops on my hook, reclaim, and then slide under like I'm doing a slip knot. So that was number 1. So I'm going to go around with single crochets till I get to number 4. So there's 2. 3. Okay, now I'm in 4. I might have to change this for myself. We'll just put it in 4 and see how it turns out. So you're going to grab 1 leg, and we're attaching this on the same way we did the eye. Whoops. The same way we did the eyes. You're just going to grab one end, bring it through and up onto your hook, and then slide under. So that's number 4. And then we're going to go around to 5 to 8 with, so there's 5, 6, 7, Now I'm in 8, so I'll grab my other leg or arm, bring it through up onto my hook and slide under. And then we're just going to continue around to the end with single crochets in red. All right. Yeah, my arms ended up differently in this one because the bands are different. So my one arm is kind of further up than this one here. So that's what I mean. Everybody using different bands is going to end up in a different spot. But when I did this one here, my arms were in 5 and 8 and it turned out fine. So just adjust it however you need to. Okay, so let's continue on. So now we're going to be working, doing the repetitive rounds again with the blue. So we're switching back to blue now. So for row 9 through 12 in blue, single crochet around in the 18 stitches. So we need to do this for 4 rounds like we did before. So place your C-clip in, and I'll do this first round with you, and then I'll let you guys go and do the additional 30. So when we continue to our next row, you're going to be skipping this very first red stitch here. That is just from the slip stitch that we did when we changed color. So make sure you skip that one, otherwise your stitches will be off count in your next round. So stick your hook into that second red, grab a blue, and we need to do a color change here. So you're going to slide through all the loops on your hook, reclaim, and do your slip knot. And then you're just going to continue around with your single crochets. Okay, here's my last one. And I'm going to mark off that I did my one round. So I have 3 more to do. So when you continue on to your next round, just remember to skip that first blue from the slip stitch that we did, and then just go around If you're unsure about that whole color change thing, just make sure you count after you've done your round to make sure that you still have 18 stitches. So go ahead and pause the video and continue on with your 3 rounds, and then I will meet you back here when you're finished with that. Alright, so I did my additional 3 rounds, so let's do this next row. We're going to be adding our legs here. So grab your little legs. Let's see, what row are we on now? We are on row 13. So it's just a single crochet around in the 18 stitches. Our legs are going to go in stitches 2 and 6, and again, change that if you need to. So let's continue. Place your C-clip in that band that's on your hook. So I'm going to go around with single crochets. So here's one. And then my second stitch is where my leg is going to go. Uh-oh, this one came unraveled. No! Okay, hold on, let me make my leg real quick. There we go. So I'm going to bring one end through, up onto my hook, and slide under. That's 2. Then I'm going to go single crochet till I get to 6. So there's 3, 4, 5. My little pile keeps falling. Then I'll stick my hook in my 6th stitch. Grab my other leg, bring it on through, onto your hook, and slide under. And then you can just continue around to the end with single crochets. And we're almost done, yay! Not too bad, right? It's a pretty simple one to do. Simple and cute. All right, so that row is finished. Now we want to move on to row 14. So we're going to start doing decreases so that we end up with 12 stitches. So we're going to be doing a single crochet followed by a decrease, and we're going to repeat that all the way around till we get to the end and we have 12 stitches. So let's do that, and I'll show you what a decrease is when we get there. So go into your first stitch and do a single crochet. Okay, now we want to do a decrease. So we basically just want to stitch the next 2 stitches up together. So I'm going to stick my hook in between this next stitch. I'm going in between, so I just have the front loop in the front on my hook, not the entire. I'm not going through the entire stitch, just in between the stitches. And I'm going to go in between the next stitch as well. So you should have those 2 front loops on your hook, and then you have this one over here. So you're going to grab another band, bring it through these 2 loops only, and up onto your hook, and then just slide under. So we just stitched those 2 stitches up together. Now we're going to do a single crochet here. And now I want to decrease these next 2 stitches. So I'll go in between this next one and in between this one over here. grab a band and bring it through the two up onto my hook and slide under. So we're just going to repeat that till we get to the end. So single crochet here, and then a decrease here. Single crochet here, and then a decrease here. Single, then a decrease. A single, and then I'm going to decrease in the last two stitches. So there's this one and this one. So I should have 12 stitches now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm just going to slide this down onto my hook because I want to put some stuffing in him before we do this last row here. So grab your polyfil or whatever you're using and just start putting some stuffing in there. Do not put too much in there because you don't want to have it pouring out. But you want to take this time to kind of shape out his face a little bit. It might have gotten a little bit deformed when we were adding all the stuff. So you just want to take your finger and kind of, usually I just press down on the face while I kind of fill up those areas a little bit. Because I want his face to sit flat. Well, I want his eyes to stay in, but I also want his face to be shaped right. So I don't know if that even made any sense, but if I just push this out, his eyes are going to be pushed out, and I don't want that, so. A little bit more. Alright, and once you've got him stuffed up, we can continue on. So just when we're doing this next round, kind of make sure you're pushing that polyfill down so it's not coming out when you're not crocheting it into the stitches. So our last row here, we want to decrease all the way around. So we're just going to be doing decreases, no single crochets. And so we need to do a total of 6 decreases, and we will end up with 6 stitches. So I'm going to start off here with 1 decrease. And then I'll go around to the next one. I'm just pushing the stuffing down as I go along because it keeps coming out. And then the next one here. Next one here. I don't even know what number I'm on right now. Usually I count while I'm doing it, but I guess I forgot to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to do one more. Uno más. Alright, so that is what you should have. A little bitty hole right there, which we need to close up. So I'm going to keep this band that's on my hook, grab another band and bring it through that one, up onto my hook, and then create a slip knot. Now we're going to use this band here and bring it through the top loops of each stitch around, of each stitch that we have left. So I usually just bring it through the first 5 and that will close it up. Even if you only bring it through 4, it will still close it up. So you just stick your hook through that stitch. You're just grabbing the one loop and bring that tying off band through. Then go to your next one and bring your tying off band through. Just continue around. And go through one more. So I just went through 5. Now what you want to do is just push down with your thumb while you pull this nice and tight so it closes that up. Don't pull it too tight because it will break. And then once it's closed up, you want to take this and tie this into a knot. So I'm just going to go in a stitch nearby this tying off band, stick my hook in there. I'm going to hold on to this while I bring it through this stitch. Whoops, hold on. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm holding on. So I have this right here. I'm going to bring this through this hole so it ties it in a knot. And then I'm going to push down with my fingers while I tie that tight. And then we have quite a bit of tying off band left over, so I'm just going to take this one off here. If you want, you don't have to. You can just go ahead and tuck it in and hide it in his body. But since he's pretty small, there's a good chance that it might end up coming out. So I tied this really tight, and now I can't get it off. Here we go, come on. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to tuck this in. Try not to pull all that polyfil out. Which is difficult sometimes. All right, so there he is. Now if you want, you can add a tail. For my first one that I made, I didn't make a tail, but I'm gonna do a tail for this one. I did one on the other tutorial I made with no sound. And then you can also pull these little feet out a little bit if you want. So let's make a tail. I'm just going to take 2 bands, wrap it around my hook once, and then grab another band and double loop that. Pull these bands onto that. And then reclaim the other end. Grab another band, double loop it, and then you can just make this as long or short as you'd like. So there's 2. I don't even know if the Tsum Tsum has a tail, but we'll just add one. There's 3. I think I'll do 5. So there's 4. And then I'll put one more. And 5. And then I'm just going to slide this onto a band. Just like that. And then you're just going to pick a spot where you want to add it. So I'm going to add it to the butt. So I'm just going to line it up where I want it. I'm going to bring it over to the side a little bit and put my finger on this tying off band on the left. And then I'm going to go through a stitch bring that band through, keep it on my hook, and I'm going to go around underneath on the other side and bring this band through so that this band's underneath the tail now. I'm going to tie that tight in a slip knot. And then I'm just going to tuck this in. And then if you want it to stick up, you can just go through these chains here and adjust it. I'm a little bit off-centered, but it's okay. So there's little Dumbo, and it worked this time, thank the Lord. So I hope you guys had a good time making him. I have 3 Dumbos now. 1, 2, 3, and they're all different colors. So this light color, if you're wondering, is probably the closest to the Tsum Tsum plush that they have out at Disney. But I think my favorite is this turquoise one here. But this is more the correct color, but it doesn't matter. So I hope you guys enjoyed making these little mini Dumbos. I do plan on making more mini Tsum Tsums, and I do also plan on continuing with the regular size ones, so don't worry about that. I had a few people asking if I was stopping those, and no, I'm not. I just wanted to do something, maybe give options to those who might not have a bunch of bands to use up in one design, because they can get a little bit band heavy, so this kind of helps out with that a little bit. And maybe you don't have a lot of time, so this does cut the time down a little bit. Not like a bunch, but doesn't matter. They're really cute, so I suggest you guys make them. So I will have some more out for you. My next tutorial is going to be for my design contest winner, Claire. She made a butterfly from, if you haven't seen it on my Instagram, she made a butterfly from it's a BBC show. I guess it's in England. It's a show called Tree Fu Tom. And she made the butterfly. I don't exactly know the butterfly's name off the top of my head right now, but it's like a little Western butterfly, and she did like a really good job making it. It's very detailed and it looks great. So that's going to be my next tutorial. I finally got around to finishing it because I wanted to make a practice one before I made a tutorial. So that one is going to be next. It's probably going to be a 2 or 3 part tutorial. It's not a huge design, but it is very detailed, so there's quite a few things we have to make for it. So if you want to see a picture of that, you can either see it on my Facebook or Instagram. You'll just have to scroll down a little bit, but I do have the post on both pages, and you can kind of get an idea of what colors you might need for that. And then I'll probably put up a posting like of what colors I suggest you use for the design. So thank you guys so much, and I can't wait to see some of your little mini Dumbos. If you guys want to share them on my Instagram or Facebook, I would really appreciate that. I love seeing all of your creations. You guys are so creative, and I just like seeing how everybody's is different and everybody's is unique. So thank you guys for taking the time for sharing with me. And I will see you guys next time for the next tutorial, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.